going to get started. Hello everyone, my name is Lori Faulkner from Women's Health on the Go, where we connect you to women's health services. Make sure that you go check out our website, womenshealthonthego.com, where you can check out what we do. We can do telemedicine for a quick, easy visit, such as birth control, or if you need prescription for STD exposure. And then we also provide longer consultations for natural healing and natural ways that we can take care of ourselves. So make sure that you go over and check out our website and sign up for our newsletter if you haven't. Great stuff. I sent out a nice How to Avoid the Gynecologist ebook that I give out to everybody, and it's pretty cool. Hi Fiona, how are you? So happy that you can join us this evening. We're going to be talking about reflexology, which is an amazing thing. So let's get right into it. So what is reflexology? Reflexology is it's a certain type of massage on the bottom of the feet and on the top of the feet that helps stimulate areas and other areas in our body. The concept is that the bottom of our feet mirror our body. Now I'm going to show you, now I'm going to really quick, let me find out one. First off, I can really quick show you, when it comes to maps in reflexology, there's lots of different maps of our body system and what it looks like on how they reflect on the bottom of our feet. There's slight variations to all of them, and I think that it just depends on, people's experience of how when they've done them and their own research and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm going to show you a couple of them just so you can kind of get the idea. But then you can see. I want to find one that I've got a whole bunch of them that I wanted to kind of show you. So I'm going to really quick move over. So this is one map, okay, and you can kind of see, they've got the small intestines, they've got your stomach here, here's your eyes up here, your brain, your eyes. Hopefully you can see the cursor moving all over the place. Here is another one, which this one kind of reflects around the kind of schooling that I did, and we're going to talk about some areas for women, which right here is the fallopian tube, ovarian area. Well, here's the fallopian tubes, and then you got ovaries over here and your uterus over here. No, I'm sorry, this is the inside of your foot. So this is where your uterus is. Just think if your uterus is in the middle of your body, so it's going to reflect on that. I'm going to show you on the sides of your feet, which is right there. And then on the outer aspect, you're going to actually have your ovaries. But you can kind of see how all of these different maps are pretty much the same. They kind of reflect exactly like if you just think your head is here, and then this is the inner part of your feet is where the spine is. And then, your arm, just think your arm would be over here, so it kind of reflects the body. This is another one. There's lots of different ones. Here, this is even an example. This is a page. If you do a search for reflexology maps, a whole bunch of different stuff comes up. I mean, there's even hand reflexology. There's reflexology of the face. There's reflexology of the ears as well. Like here, just to give you a little example, here's of your hands. And I know that there's one here's ear. Right, they have different spots in the ears as well. So there's lots of different, ways that the body can kind of reflect in your feet. So how does the energy, I'm just going to put, so this pretend your feet, this is in the middle of your feet, or even if you're using your hands, okay? And if you have, this is your spine, okay? So, and then this is your outer part of your body. So the way that it kind of works is there's what we call meridians in our body. This is a little bit to me like Chinese medicine. When you have your chi is your energy flow, okay? It flows up through your whole body along a certain meridian. Now, in reflexology, in Chinese medicine, meridians may go a little bit different on the body, where in reflexology, it kind of just flows up the body, like just there's one line here, there's one line that goes here, like each, they're just a straight line. Let me actually, I put this in a map in here. I've got like so many books on it. This is the book that I used when I was studying, which I actually studied in England, which was really, really interesting. When I was living in the UK, I personally think that alternative and natural remedies were a little bit more accepting over there, and I was actually even able to take like a certification course in reflexology, which is pretty long and pretty extensive, and it was really, really cool. So this picture here, hopefully you can kind of see. This is what I'm talking about, the meridians. You see, I'm sorry, this is a little hard to do it backwards, but you can see how the meridians just go straight up the line of the body, okay? And that's the kind of concept of what's kind of happening here, is that when you're working on the bottom of the feet and you're stimulating certain areas, I'm going to kind of, it just depends on where you are. Sometimes you're doing like an inching, but you're kind of pressing. Now, I have had reflexology by a reflexologist, and then I've also had reflexology like I think it was like he was like with Asian, and oh my God, he pressed so hard on my feet. I thought my feet were going to die, but I felt so amazing afterwards. So but at the same time, I've had it where it's a light kind of pressure, and it was just as beneficial. So I think that when he was doing it really hard, I mean, I almost felt like I was high as a kite or something after it. It was really, really it really stimulated. Okay, hopefully I'm back. I have no idea where it stopped before. So I am so sorry, everyone. I just seem to keep having problems with this system here. Last week I had audio problems, and I fixed that, and I figured out what it was. And now I guess for some odd reason I just got cut off. So I do apologize for that. Hopefully you guys are still here, and hopefully you're kind of back to seeing me. I kind of have no idea where I got cut off because I wasn't really noticing the green light, so I do apologize. Fiona, I did see that you had mentioned something about trigger points. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. There are certain spots on your feet. So there's different, here's like actually, you know what? I'm going to show you a picture. Hold on. I'm going to show you a picture. So here is the bottom of the feet. All right, all right, hold on. Okay, so here is a picture of the feet, okay? Now, when I was talking to you before about the meridians, you're going to have meridians that kind of go down each line in your feet, and then it's going to go all the way along. Hopefully you can see my cursor, and they're going to go all the way along the body, okay? So when you're doing reflexology and you're stimulating things, like right here, I can tell you right on the big toe is your pituitary gland, and this is your foot, right? And here along the inside of your foot is your spine. Here's your spine as well, okay? And along, these are like your sinuses. Some have it of different things. Like I know one map has here is an eye and here is an eye. And then your thyroid is right around here. Your cervical vertebrae, I guess it is, your bone and your necks and stuff like that is all along here. Then you have your intestines that are down here. You got your large intestines, you got your small intestines. We got all these kind of things. And when the concept is that when you're triggering, like let's suppose you have a headache. And if you have a headache, what you want to do is you want to stimulate your foot to help stimulate the healing properties in your head. You want to stimulate that energy. So you would kind of rub, some people you can really press really hard on your big toes, just press. Or, let me show you. Or when you're pressing, my nails are a little bit long right now, so it's a little hard, right? Because you don't want to you know, sometimes if you're pushing, you're going to actually get your nails, and you want to try not to do that. But so if you have a headache, even if it's on your thumb, right, you can either like just stimulate really hard on your thumb, or if you wanted to like do like inching, you know, and do inching around the side and around the other side, right? Really, and then also just kind of stimulating. I don't know much too. I know a little bit more about foot reflexology and not hand reflexology, but it's the same kind of concept here that we're dealing with, okay? So typically when we're doing motion on the foot, even like sometimes, even if it's when we're on the bottom of the foot and we're stimulating a whole area, we may take 3 fingers and just kind of inch over and do inching over, okay? Like inching over, okay? And I'm going to show you when we're dealing with your uterus and your ovaries. I wish I could put my foot up here. It'd be a lot easier. Let me show you. Okay. I'm probably getting a little all over the place here. But I'm going to show this to you real quick, and then we're going to kind of go back to what I was flowing with. Okay, so the lateral aspect is what we call the outside of your foot, and the medial is your inside. Think of M for middle of your body, okay? Now, your uterus is, here's your ankle bone, and like here's the tip of your heel. Halfway between there is your uterus, okay? And we're going to talk about that when you have, like, if you have your period or you have cramps or you want to, you know, stimulate your uterus, you're going to do just circular kind of motions there. You're going to just, you know, take your finger to that spot, and you're just going to stimulate it, just like you do little round circles, Hopefully that makes sense, okay? So basically, the bottom of your feet map the rest of your body, okay? So the bottom, even in like the bottom of your hands too. I like, again, I'm not like, you know, a pro at hands. I know about feet a tad bit more than that, okay? So just think that, you know, if you took your feet and if you're sat out with your feet out there, okay, you can kind of get a concept of where everything is on the bottom of your feet, because here, like, just think of, see where my head is? I'm trying to do it, like, see where my head is, and then think about where everything else is along in my body, okay? And there's some things that are in like little kind of weird areas, but again, it depends on the reflexology map that you look at. I think that if you get a reflexology session, you're basically getting everything on your foot stimulated, and it's going to help with overall health. But I want to kind of talk to you about, one, of course, you can go to get a reflexology session, but, you know, I want to talk about something like, hey, you got cramps. What can you do for yourself that'll kind of help stimulate and help get rid of those cramps and stuff like that? So I want to just talk about a little bit what we can do ourselves, okay? So when we're doing a reflexology session, you may be able to feel this yourself, okay? There is this concept of when you touch an area, okay, when we're doing reflexology, right, and we're, you know, stimulating this area, okay, one, if it's really tiny, it may be like, you know, off balance, or sometimes the easiest way I can say is sometimes you can feel like a bubbly kind of feel underneath the tissue, or we can feel what we call crystals, and they just, when you're going over it, it feels like a little crunchy, like it just feels, just if you had little crystals and they were just going ding, 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 like that's the easiest way. And if you feel those kind of things, that means that that area is kind of out of balance, and then you want to kind of have to work those crystals out. Now, I know that I sort of kind of talked about how I had one reflexology session with someone and they pressed so hard. Oh my goodness. It was amazing. I was so euphoric afterwards, and I don't even know if I was able to get home after that because it was so euphoric. But then I've had reflexology from others who is not as hard and still feel the effects, okay? So even if you have those kind of crystals in those areas, or you have like little bubbles, or, you know, it's really kind of tender, you know, it's not, you know, there's that phrase of no pain, no gain. You know, I don't think that we really need to. I mean, I'm sure that there are some reflexologists that say, hey, you got to get in there, you got to get it. You know, everybody's kind of different the way that they approach it. So I would not torture yourself. But sometimes now, when I go for a massage, sometimes I particularly don't really like hard massages, but some people like really hard massages to get everything and work everything out. To me, the massages I have are perfect, but I still get the benefit. I still feel the benefit from it. I don't necessarily need to, for me, get really hard with that pressure. Hopefully that all kind of makes sense, okay? So we talked about what reflexology is, how the reflexes kind of work, okay? And it's also a lot to do with chi and energy flowing up those meridians, okay, all the way up our bodies, all the way up our bodies. Just like, to me, it's the same kind of concept in Chinese medicine. We have meridians, we have chi, we have energy flow, and when you stimulate this air, like a certain area in your body, then the chi and the stimulation is coming through up through the rest of your body to help balance your body, okay? Now let's talk a little bit about some things that we can do for ourselves, okay? Now, it's funny because I use, like, so I'll just be personal and honest. Sometimes my periods are freaking awful, okay? They get heavy once in a while, and I get really bad cramps once in a while. And typically I notice it. I know that I've talked about herbal infusions in the past. Red raspberry leaf is an amazing uterine tonic, which I try to have the week before my period, but sometimes I lose track and I don't even realize my period is here. It's on its way, and sometimes those periods end up being pretty darn heavy and like really bad cramps. So I use a whole bunch of different little modalities to help me get through that time. And one of them is reflexology. Another one is essential oils as well. And sometimes I just do a little bit mixture of everything and how I'm feeling and what I want to use. And sometimes I use reflexology. And it's very simple to kind of do. I mean, as long as you're flexible, that is. I mean, you just have to kind of I know you can't really see, but even if you bring your foot up onto your, your other leg, you can. Good. All right, you know what? Hopefully maybe you guys are all still here. So I do apologize for all of this. Hopefully we can. I'm going to just start off where I was going, and I'm going to have to piecemeal this all together for everyone, and hopefully it will keep going. So where I was before was I was kind of talking about if you have painful periods, what can you actually do to help with those cramps? And what I was kind of trying to say is that, if you're flexible enough, which hopefully you are, and I know you can't really kind of see me completely, but even if you just take your leg, one leg, and you put it up on your other knee, then you're going to have actually direct access to your uterus, okay? Now, as I'm going to show you on this over here, your uterus, so like this is the inside of your foot over here. Right over here is the inside of your foot, okay? And here is your ankle bone, okay? And this outer edge here. What you want to do is like halfway in between there, okay? You want to just take your thumb or take some finger and just make little tiny circles right inside there. That's going to really help stimulate your uterus, okay? Another great thing, and if you do that on one foot, okay? And then you want to work your hole, kind of do the inside. This is the outside of your foot. The same thing when it comes to your ovaries. You got your ankle here. You got the outer edge. You want to take right in between, halfway in between there, and really kind of stimulate that, okay? Now, let's see. No. let me see, hold on, I got one picture. Okay, so in here you can see what you're wanting to do is you're going to want to stimulate all across the front of your foot from like your uterus over to the other side. That's going to be your fallopian tube. Okay, I'm just trying to, let's go back here. Okay, so you want to like right here and over to the other side. You want to just inch over, okay, and you want to like go to the flow of your uterus. So you want to go from the outside over and to the inside, and then stimulate your uterus and then stimulate your ovaries, okay? And once you did that for one side, go to the other side and, you know, make sure that you do the same thing, okay? Now, some other things that you may want to, now if you're trying to want to do like your hormones and stuff to make sure that you are, you know, if you've got hormone imbalances and stuff like that and you want to make sure overall kind of health, then a good thing is that you want to start with your pituitary gland, which is like your master gland, okay? And that's going to be right in the middle of your big toe, on each big toe, okay? And what you want to do is you're just going to take, if you take, here I'm going to show you, if you take like just, you know, the edge of your, because you really want to get into the, right into that little spot and just do tiny little circles. I will tell you right now, typically your pituitary gland is going to be tender, okay? At least that's what I found whenever I was doing reflexology on someone, and even when I do it on myself, it's kind of really tender, okay? So just do little kind of nice little circles, right? And you want to do, remember, you want to do both feet, right? We're going to go back over to our little map, okay? You want to make sure that you're doing, oops, I got to come over to this one. You want to make sure that you're doing your both little feet, okay? And you're also going to want to stimulate your thyroid gland, okay? So your thyroid gland on the map that I used was right in this kind of area, okay? Right in this area here and right in this area here, okay? And what you want to do is, though, on this, you want to do like upstrokes. Like, so if you take this whole kind of area on your foot and you just keep doing like little inching, right? Here we're going to go over inching. I'm going to show you inching. Okay, hold on. All right, so remember, inching is just taking, you know, typically you do your thumb and you're just going to inch up. Do little inching movements, okay? A little bit of inching movements up in that movement. Does that look okay to you guys? All right, so let's go back to there, okay? And then let's see. One good thing to do is definitely, you know, you want to do your spine. Keep the flow going. You know, your spine, keep the flow going. Now that's another thing. See, you got you can almost like kind of see the way that your back is curved here on each side in like real life, okay? And you're just going to want to inch up along the whole inside there and inch up whole inside. Oops, hold on, my mouse, I got a little like lost there. All up inside of there, okay? Now you want to detox your liver, okay? And your liver is, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting on the right side because I'm doing this kind of backwards. So I'm going to put some links to some maps up here, but your liver is going to be over here, and you're just going to, when you do like your liver, I don't know if I remember before I was showing you how you can take like 3 fingers and kind of inch over. Now, the liver is actually a really important thing to do when it comes to women's health, okay? Well, actually, when it comes to overall health, right? You want to make sure that you're detoxing. Your liver is your detoxer. It gets rid of it cleanses all the crap out of your body. So you want to make sure that your liver is functioning correctly. Forget about women's health issues. Well, for everything, you want to make sure that your liver is functioning. I know I have a couple of people that watch the show that have had cancer in the past, have gone through chemo and stuff, and we're going to actually talk about, I had the request of talking about nutrition after cancer and chemo and stuff like that, which we're going to talk about next week. And you're going to notice it next week. I'm going to talk about toxing that liver, making sure, because you've had a lot of chemicals, a lot of yucky stuff that they put into you, and you want to make sure that your body cleanses out all of that crap, I'm going to call it, out of your system. So you really want to make sure that your liver is working properly. And the reason why we also want for women's health kind of stuff is we want to make sure that our body is getting rid of any extra circulating estrogen out of our body. So we want to make sure. So a lot of herbalists, when we talk about what we're going to do, like if we're trying to regulate hormones and stuff like that, they're typically going to add an herb that's going to help do liver detoxing. Okay, so that's kind of definitely important. So you definitely want to do that. So you want to stimulate your pituitary, you'll do your thyroid, you want to do your uterus, you want to do your ovaries, you want to do the fallopian tube, you want to do the spine. Like to me, the spine, there is actually, I watched this really, 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 really cool documentary about, it was like 10 hours long, about, it was called The Truth About Cancer, and there was this one doctor, he was a chiropractor actually, and he was just talking about the research about actually the spine and how the spine has the nerves. It travels from, up to the, from the brain down, from the, we give nerve stimulation from here, sends messages up to our brain, and then our brain also sends messages to the rest of our body as well. So he was talking about how important the spine is. Our posture is really important to make sure that all of that flow is moving correctly. I'm big. I do this a lot. I'm always like, okay, bring them back. Show the girls. Be proud of them. But also it's about bringing your shoulders back and bringing your proper posture. So I definitely think, especially, hey, you're sitting in front of the TV, plop one foot over and, and start stimulate your spine. Start stimulating all of these things. Stimulate your spine to make sure that flow is going really, really well. Make sure you want to stimulate your, I just thought stimulate your thyroid, your liver as well. You also want to get your lymphatic system going. Now I gotta find this picture of a foot for you. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Okay, this one's good here. Okay. I'm going to push here. So we want to get the lymphatic system as well, because that's going to help our body as well. And if you can kind of see, your lymphatic is right like in the front of your foot, which is actually, to me, a really nice reflexology kind of a movement. So basically, and I can kind of show you on the hand, right? So just think if this is your toes, right? You want to basically inch through between, okay? Sometimes people just do this, etch through like, all of them at the same time, but you want to kind of inch between your bones to stimulate your lymphatic system. Okay, and you can do, for the most part, you can do a lot of these things on your hand as well, because you think about it, your feet and your hands kind of look, I know they're completely different, but it's the same kind of concept here, okay? It's no different, okay? So those are the things that you want to kind of stimulate. Now, if you're having any problems with your breast, let me find that spot for you. Now, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the best kind of pictures here for you. Okay, now, the way that I learned it, and again, every map may be a little bit different, but where I have it on my system, it kind of doesn't really make sense to me, but I just, I flowed with it, is like your breasts were just stimulated right around this area here, okay? Now, there was this great one that I wish I can find this map here. There was one that was really cool. It actually had a picture of the boobs on the foot. It was pretty funny, and it kind of made a little bit more sense of where it was. And basically, let's see. Basically, it showed them like here, which to me, that kind of makes sense. If my head is up here, you know, and here's my spine, well, you know what, my boobs are kind of around here. My boobs are kind of around here, okay? So again, you know, every map is kind of a little bit different. It just depends on what reflexology book you pick up or what reflexology, even if you look on maps online. You know, I will be honest with you, my first reflexology book was The Complete Idiot's Guide to Reflexology. It totally was. You know, I was just really intrigued about it. I was like, all right, I'm intrigued by this. I want to find out a little bit more about it. And I got this book, and it just got me thinking more and more about it. And then when I moved to the UK, I saw that there was a certification exam, and then I took that. And this is actually the book that I used during, you can see on my little tabs here, but that was the book that I used. And I could put the link to these books as well if anybody is, you know, interested in, you know, getting a book. And, you know, again, you can find a reflexologist, you can find somebody, but you can also kind of do this stuff yourself. Or if you have a loved one that's intrigued about doing foot massages, which I absolutely love them, then you can maybe get your partner to, you know, do a little bit of reflexology on you. I've done a lot of reflexology on people. I know that it has helped, even those that were kind of like, I don't know if this is going to work. You know, they noticed that there were changes in them. So I definitely think that it's worth exploring. As you know, with all of my shows, I just want to introduce you. I just want to spark your mind and your interest in something different and new. There are so many, I think, so many natural alternative remedies that we have access to and that we can use, and I think that all of us are very unique. We all, you know, some person may be like, oh, reflexology is for me, but essential oils, no way, I don't want any part of it. Or it could be the other way around. You know, we're all different. That is what's so fabulous about us. But I love learning. I love going into all of this stuff. I want to introduce you to all these different things just to spark your mind and just be able to realize that there are things besides conventional medicine. Yes, you know, I know conventional medicine has its place, but I think that if we take a lot of these other modalities and either, you know, use it preventatively, hopefully we won't even need to go to the doctor's office. Or if we're having something and we are going through conventional medicine, maybe some of the stuff can just be added stuff to help boost that along. You know, it's all about, there's all these little kind of things. One thing might not just work for us. You know, I'm a certified aromatherapist, but I'm taking another course right now on essential oils because I really want to keep learning more about them. And, you know, what I like about the courses is, you know, the instructor that I'm doing it with, he's like, you know, this is just more like, there's so many things that we need to do in order to stay healthy and to be, you know, holistic. And this is just one component of it. And if we take all of these kind of, you know, modalities and we, you know, incorporate diet and nutrition, which is so important, exercise, you know, and take all these other little things that nature has provided us, which, you know, I think are all very wonderful, and even simple of reflexology, just stimulating your feet. It really, I mean, what I want everybody to do who's watching this, I want you for the next week or so, just, you know, at nighttime, you know, you go home at night and I'm sure that we're watching TV. I know that I need a few shows that are just mindless just so I can just unwind. You know, while you're doing it, stimulate your feet a little bit. Go up that spine, up and down that spine. You know, stimulate your uterus and your ovaries. And, you know, if you really have painful periods, start doing it now and see how your period is when you get it. And see if there is a change in it for you. You know, definitely try to take it and see where it goes. And maybe it's not for you, but at the end of the day, to me, rubbing my feet or having someone rub my feet feels pretty darn awesome. But I think if we can do it and it actually has medicinal and healing properties, how freaking awesome is that? Okay, so that's what I say. So I hope, as you know, I always say that I hope that this sparks your interest, it sparks your mind. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them below or reach out to me. Or, you know, if you're going through something and, you know, you have, if you want to talk to somebody about also natural remedies, or you want to have some support and help you talking about, you know, changing your lifestyle, you know, make an appointment with me. I'm all about helping people become natural and live a really good life, even if it's preventative medicine, or if you're having something go on with you and you want to start, you know, changing and adding a little natural alternative stuff to help supplement that, then I'm all about it. I absolutely love doing this. I love talking to patients. I love educating. I love working with women one-on-one to do this. It's my passion. This is totally 500% my passion and of what I love doing. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing my show. I love all this stuff. So I'm rambling. I can't help it. I love doing the show and I love talking to you guys. So that's it on reflexology. I hope it introduced you. I hope it sparks interest. If you have any questions, make sure you ask below or reach out to us at womenshealthonthego.com. Make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. You get a great book on how to avoid the gynecologist. It's great. And as much as I do GYN, I don't want people going to the office. I want you to take care of yourselves and have a healthy and happy vagina. So I will see you next week. Next week we are going to talk about nutrition after cancer. I'm not a nutritionist, but I do know a lot of stuff, so I'm going to talk about lots of great things that I know. And again, it's just all about sparking your brain and your interest and getting you going on that. So everyone, have a fabulous week. Here it's like a heat wave right now. I am absolutely loving it. I love the heat. So you know, happy heatness, but make sure if you are in this area, in the New York State tri-state area, make sure that you drink lots of water, stay hydrated, try to stay cool, and I will see you next week. Thank you everyone for showing up, and we'll see you next week. Take care of everybody. Bye-bye.